Hello. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with magic systems at this point, more specifically how it is often divided into soft and hard magic. For those of you who don't know, soft magic is barely defined, leaving a mysterious quality to it. It's never properly explained how it works, leaving readers in the dark and stimulating their imagination, hinting at the arcane or divine. Hard magic, on the other hand, has strict rules that it follows. For example, a caster waves a wand and says the right words, and a specific spell is cast. Hard magic is a fantastic way for an author or game designer to create a well thought out system that can be used and countered in a plethora of different ways. Specific spells become a reliable part of a wizard's toolkit, which they can use as and when they're needed, or a resource-dependent mechanic that the protagonist or others have to work around.
I'm out of mana, so this is the end.
Both of these magics are present in Lord of the Rings, so it's used as a common example. Gandalf's magic is very mysterious, and it's not clear exactly as to how he gets the result he does. It's just understood that he's a very experienced wizard, and he knows how to do it. And as the audience, we happily accept that. The One Ring, however, has well-defined rules. Wear it and you turn invisible, and Sauron can see you. That's what people need to know, so it's very straightforward and well-defined. Now, I'm a massive fan of hard magic, but I'm here to excite your imagination about soft magic. The problem with soft magic is that it can seem to be a very convenient solution to all problems. Whereas hard magic's rules can restrict its use in a variety of situations, creating a better impression of stakes and tension, soft magic can just show up as and when it's needed to save the day, making the stakes of the narrative feel a touch empty. You are of course not stuck on one end of the spectrum as an author, and many books and games find a healthy balance of soft and hard magics. But I'd like to take a look at a show that makes its own soft magic system with hardly anyone realizing that that's the case. Of course, I am talking about Rick and Morty. There are many people in this world who believe that science will one day reach a point where all of our needs are met and all our worries will dissipate as we enter an epoch of technological utopia. And whereas many of us think that that's a little contrite, none of us really know what the limits of science and technology really are, as we are still far from understanding all of it. We're still exploring the secrets of our existence by researching quantum physics, chemistry, biology, astronomy, and so much more, and every field is making strides to further inform our understanding of our universe.
Oh man, this is great! Hey, as long as you don't make me smell your anus.
Rick and Morty takes advantage of this by giving us Rick Sanchez, a man who knows it all. It doesn't matter much to the viewer how long it would take for someone to accrue that much knowledge, never mind apply it in such a casual and seemingly trivial way. But we have an implicit understanding that this technological soft magic system is something that could one day be the result of real technological achievements, both because of our ignorance as to the limitations of future technology and the fact that we're learning more and more with each passing day. It's almost like it's barely fictional, so it isn't even magic anymore, it's applied technology. But of course this isn't the start of the perception that we have of the potential of technology. Writers have been doing this since Mary Shelley. But Rick Sanchez is an actualization of this idea, a man that is God, self-realized and present within the world of the show.
Let me check my list of powers and weaknesses. Ability to do anything, but only whenever I want. Yeah, it sounds like a job for me.
The power of infinity contained in a finite human form. He can do anything, and virtually no one will question his ability to do so, somehow without the acknowledgement that this is effectively magic. However, despite this, Dan Harmon and co. are able to subvert a narrative problem that plagues similar characters. The biggest thing we love about a lot of characters are the ways in which they overcome challenges. But even more than that, we love an underdog. Someone who starts at the bottom and climbs to the top, succeeding in the face of the seemingly impossible. Will the hero save the day, or will they fail? Well, then there are characters who start at the top, with no room to grow. They stand above their nemesis as an impenetrable bastion of justice. So the problem for them is, how can you make that interesting? If beating the bad guy isn't a challenge, then where's the tension? Where's the story? The question of Superman, for example, isn't whether or not he can save the day. Of course he can. His power is infinite. It's the social and sometimes ethical questions he encounters that make the show so popular. But I'm sorry to be controversial here. The fact that such stories are so few and far between makes him rather boring. At least to me. There is no tension without introducing kryptonite into the scene, or someone with equal power like Zod. Without things like these, he simply cannot be beaten. As such, there are no stakes, no obstacles that he needs to overcome. As another example, One Punch Man's most intense scenes are those where Saitama isn't present. Of course, the whole premise of One Punch Man is to satirize conventional anime, but after the joke is over, they still have to make the show interesting. It's the other heroes of the show that strive and struggle against tough odds, risking life and limb to save the day, but when Saitama shows up, he wins in one punch. They have to create tension in his absence because they can't have it while he's there. He is the apex, the most powerful, and no one can beat him. His fight against Boris is drawn out, but it's said that he was holding back, which is honestly a cop-out. With Rick Sanchez, there is a human element that returns him from the apex position of Superman and Saitama. He has technology to protect himself, and he has contingencies for various threats, but he is still human underneath. And yes, I know Saitama is also human, but he's quite one-dimensional. Rick's past, his grief and self-loathing, and his desire to have fun with his grandson, colour his decisions and put him in positions where the viewers feel a legitimate concern for his well-being, even with his seemingly omnipresent abilities. It's these struggles that allow the technological soft magic system to provide deus ex machinas all over the place, and we just don't care, because it's tied in with the drama and the relational conflicts along with his own flaws. Another interesting thing about this soft magic system is that it loses the most common benefit of soft magic systems, and that is its divine element, the unknown benevolent or malevolent forces that dictate the limitation of magic that people can never know the true extent of. But Rick and Morty trades that for a soft magic system that's believable in the eyes of many, something genuinely achievable if only we could figure out how. You can still appreciate the technological creativity of the show. There are some incredible ideas that are executed to perfection, but the mystical is mostly lost in its portrayal. It's traded for the legitimacy that I mentioned earlier. It makes the unintelligible believable, which I think is the real accomplishment of Rick and Morty. If you liked this video, please consider signing up for my newsletter in the description below. It would really help me out. And lastly, this is Jim. Jim is a lycanthrope who works as a scribe on a submarine. That's right, he is a lycan subscribe. Jim is also a pretty big fan of hard magic systems over the soft, and he has a very technical mind. Anyway, for more facts about Jim, you know what to do. Like and subscribe. Have a great day.